When is a positron not a positron? Hey, Harry, how's it going, man?
How are we doing?
So I'm at Muon3D. We're at the Sanjay Mortimer RepRap Show 2026 edition, and it was crazy. We came over here and we're like, oh, is that a positron on a Mac Mini? It's not.
It's not.
So let's go over the differences here, because positron influenced this machine,
completely.
But as you've said, it's been redesigned from the ground up, right?
Yeah, the difference is you can buy one of these.
You can buy one.
You can buy one.
Yeah.
You can't really buy a Positron. It's a very difficult kit to build.
Your aim was to not supply the kit builders, it was to supply the people who want a product.
Exactly. Nobody builds their own laptop. That's how I like to think of it.
Well, not many.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
many.
Some do.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so for redesigned from the ground up, first of all, at the very bottom, there's this big Mac Mini-esque thing. This is the battery, correct?
It's a battery pack.
How big is it?
The 1 kilowatt-hour battery pack.
That's huge.
So that will print you 15 hours. I printed on top of hills with this. Anywhere. It's also great if you live in a country where you have constant power cuts. If you have a power cut, it keeps on printing. You don't even know there was a power cut.
If you're using this as a means of production and you want to make sure the power is continuous, this is a really good option for it.
Exactly.
And it's designed in mind with the rest of it. And so rather than it being
modular.
just like a separate battery that you go get and plug it into, it fits form and function with this, and it looks really good.
It's a fully modular system. So we're going to have a full ecosystem of add-ons that just clip onto the bottom of the printer.
Okay, well, that's kind of cool.
So on top of that, we have 4 USB ports on the side. So that's 240 watt USB power delivery. So this also allows you, you can charge your camera, your drone, your laptop, anything else you have with you. So it's a real quality of life. You have a battery pack that you can use for other things as well.
That's a really good. That's a really good design decision to be able to tap into the power for other things.
I'm really excited to see what people do with this printer.
Let's focus on some of the design decisions you made, because, like you said, from the ground up, and we started with the battery, but right in front of me is the spool holder, and that's just nice.
Drops in. It's incredibly compact as well.
And the filament goes in here, and it's through the umbilical, but that umbilical is new because this is direct drive.
Fully direct drive system, so we can print TPU. No problem. Yeah. So your quality of life with direct drive is so much better. You know, you can use Bowden, but every filament has to be tuned for Bowden. It's not friendly to the average user. That's why we chose direct drive.
Yeah.
You know, it just works.
So this goes through the umbilical, and the umbilical is carrying not just filament, that's also power.
Power.
And data.
Data, of course.
And a CPAP, right?
CPAP air. And that allows us to get some really high-speed printing with really, really nice cooling. So we can do, out the box, this printer can do sub 10-minute benching on stock settings.
Stock settings?
I don't know any other printer out the box that can do that without having to have a lot of tuning.
Sub 10 on this sort of platform is a fantastic benchmark. And that CPAP fan, like, that's moving and that's going. That's not that loud.
No, we most of our prints we run on 30% fan because the fan is that powerful.
Really?
Yeah, there's no need for it.
Umbilical goes into the head, and that's been redesigned, like you said, from the ground up.
I mean, that has been a year and a half of work to perfect that toolhead. We have packed so much technology into that toolhead.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
yeah.
There's no space left.
So you have a new right-angled nozzle and heater block.
Indeed we do.
And, oh, look at that. That's right, and you showed me, and this is, what'd you call this, the drip tray?
Yeah, it's a drip tray, so it pulls straight off. Boom. That's it. And then because you're upside down, you have more oozing. It's just the nature of the game. But it falls into our drip tray, and then you just, because it's silicone, you just squeeze it like that. Crunch it, and it just cracks straight off, falls off, and you just drop it.
And you put it right back on. And then you've got a boot for the hot end as well, just to kind of keep things clean.
Exactly.
A new sort of heat sink. That's kind of cool.
We have a new and improved heatsink in this one, actually, that's not shown there.
Oh.
So we have a thermistor on the heatsink itself, and I've never seen it go above 45 degrees Celsius.
Really?
Even when printing ASA, which means you're never, ever going to get a jam.
Wow.
Impressive.
One of the interesting things, though, that you showed me on this head is it also has a built-in filament cutter. So with the Bowden system on the Positron, obviously the filament gets locked when it cools, and you have to heat it up to pull it out.
Exactly.
So this one utilizes the cutting concept, where you cut right above the top of or essentially right here, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And it does it automatically as well.
After every print, it does it automatically, and then you just press a button, it unwinds the filament, and you can unload it. Because when I used the original Positron, the amount of times that I went, oh, I want to take the filament out and disconnect it because it had been sitting on my desk. The filament's still inside, and then have to go and try and find my phone, turn it on, heat it up, unwind it. This, you just press a button and it comes out straight away. We want to make that ease of use just perfect.
Positron had a USB-C screen that you could attach, but you could also run it headless. This one though, it has a built-in screen to the base, and it's a circular screen.
It's not touchscreen because you can't get your fingers in there when it's printing. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have a knob that's on the side here. That's a fully haptic feedback knob, software programmable detents. So you can imagine if you're controlling your temperature, it'll be a
Right.
Whereas if you're doing on off, it's and it's really hard to describe with a video. You have to feel it.
I felt it, and it is crazy. Like, it's really interesting, and I think that's something that once this gets out into the market and it's more known, I get the feeling more people might try to take advantage of this.
It's been really fun to design the user interface for it. It's also been very difficult to design the user interface
Sure.
for it because nothing exists like it before. But we're really excited to develop that further and see what we can do with it.
Well, right here in front, this is a benchy that was made, but this is the bed, and this is a PEI coating.
It's a PEI coated, fully transparent, heated bed that will go to 110 degrees Celsius.
110C.
110 C, you can print
110C.
ASA, ABS, no problem.
And it's got it's
a
got the
filament.
pad, man.
Exactly.
It's got, you can rub the nozzle on that and clean off the filament.
Yeah, and it does it automatically before every print, full bed mesh leveling. And probing wise, we originally did some experimentation with flick out probes and this sort of thing, but now we just use a very tiny load cell, zero deflection load cell in the tool head, and we do nozzle probing directly.
Wow.
So you can get perfect first layers every time.
Can I put this on?
Of course you can.
Let's see. It is.
You just drop it in.
It's just right up here, and then down.
Clips in. And to remove, you just lift up. It's an incredibly natural action. And that's
It
what
is.
we're going
It's very, very natural.
And the lovely thing about PEI coating on it, I mean, it means you have no damage to your glass ever. You know, when you're back in the day, you ever print on glass and you rip
many
chunks,
times.
chunks of glass
Yeah.
off with your PTG?
Yeah,
You don't have any
I'm
of
famous for ruining a giant glass bed. Yeah,
Yeah.
Before we talk about price and where people can get this,
Sure.
the software that's running, we didn't talk about that yet though. The Positron was running, it was Clipper if I remember right.
It is.
What are you running here?
So we're running a fully customized version of Clipper. People don't like Clipper in some ways. It's not very production ready because you have to install it with SSH. You have to be a Linux master to install it.
Yeah.
But we have a full over-the-air update system. It's like an iPhone update.
Okay.
It comes over the air, you click a button, and your entire firmware is updated with the latest version. So you don't have to worry about trying to set it up or anything like that.
That's nice.
But it's a full Linux machine, and something I'm really interested in. So with this modular ecosystem, we are going to do a version with a pull-out screen and keyboard. So you don't need to bring your laptop with you. You can do all your slicing on board on the printer itself.
Oh. At the end of the day, if my laptop could also just unfold and it had a 3D printer in it,
Perfect.
that'd be great.
Exactly. You can do your slicing all in one. So it's just a self-contained unit.
What does this cost, and when can people get this?
So we're launching our Kickstarter in 2 months' time. And people can go to our website, muon3d.com, and they can sign up there and we'll have more information and we'll tell them when we're releasing the Kickstarter in 2 months' time.
Okay.
We are going to be selling the main printer itself for £1,000, so that's about $1,200, I believe.
Ish, yeah.
And the modular battery pack will be £500, so
Okay.
that's $600 in that range.
Okay. That seems really capable. I know the Positron is going to be, I keep comparing it because of course.
Of course.
And it is less, but it is a kit experience and you have to build it yourself. Not only is this a product, like this is something that would be warranted and supported.
Exactly.
And that's huge.
And the thing I really like about this that I don't think anyone's ever been able to do with printers before because they're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, you've seen the size of the boxes they come in. And
Oh yeah, very familiar.
so if something goes wrong, they won't go wrong with this machine. They're going to be perfect. But if something were to go wrong, well, you just send it back in the box you got it, and our support network will fix it for you and send it back to you within a
That
few
is
days.
kind of interesting because when we talk about 3D printers, typical ones, larger ones and closed ones, they say keep the box in case you have to send it back. And that is an ordeal, to say the least.
Awful.
But for this, you just put it back in the bag it came in.
I mean, we've literally sent them to each other in filament boxes.
Yeah.
And the thing I really like is
man.
that we're going to be able to attract people to 3D printing. You don't have to dedicate half a room of your house to 3D printing because they're so big, they take up the corner. You can just store it in a drawer when you're done. It's becoming a tool now.
It is. Well, absolutely. I think in this configuration for sure. And, it was a question whether or not the upside down printing was just a quirk or not, right? You know, if it was just something that was done because they wanted to, but there are benefits to the space savings that it affords, right?
Massive, exactly.
And you still get fantastic quality.
Yeah, we
At a good
designed
speed.
this from the ground up for performance. So it runs a 45 volt system. We can do 600 millimeters a second with 20,000 acceleration, no problem. And a CPAP fan means you're getting a 9-minute 30 bench heat.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you know what? Here, give me one of those because this has been amazing. But right now, you get the floor. So look there in the camera and just let everybody know what you'd want them to know about this and when it's available.
2 months' time, please go to Muon3D and we'll release more information about it. And you can get one in your Kickstarter. And yeah, the investment, good amount of money, but these are machined from a solid block of aluminium. You're getting a quality machine.
There we go. Thanks for watching. If you made this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to hug each other more. Fight for a cause you believe in. Upside down print, all the things. And as always, high five. Give it up.
Oh, that was a good
Ooh,
one.
take that one to the
Sweaty
bank,
palm.
man.